mic for you. Okay, so tell us your name and the name of your series.
My name is Katie Blakegrove, and I am the creator of Leah the Late Bloomer.
Outstanding. And what is Leah the Late Bloomer about?
Leah the Late Bloomer is a show about a jobless filmmaker who's trying to grow up before turning 30. She is an underachieving creative who's kind of like growing up in this era of Instagram and everyone is doing cool things. And she has very high ambitions for herself, but she gets in her own way.
Outstanding. What was your favorite part about making this particular one?
My favorite part about making it was how the story basically changed as we were filming. I would have a script, and then as soon as we're on set, someone will have a great idea for a line or something I had in my brain that doesn't really play well like visually, and then we would have to change it, and it turns out so much better. Because I think with anything on screen, it's not just the writer or just the director, it's everyone, it's the actors, how they play out the words, it's lighting, it's sound, it's everything. So definitely my favorite part was being on set and just having that magic transform the show.
Can you give us an example of something that you had written or conceived of a certain way and ended up different?
Yes. In the episode that I submitted, Black Girl Magic, it was initially supposed to be like at a table at a busy restaurant, but the way my director saw it, he just was like, we should just like film everyone in like a circle and just capture everyone doing it. Cause the scene is basically she's unemployed, she lives with her parents, and she just came back from LA after like failing at making it, and now she's invited to this like Black Girl Magic brunch where all these women are like, I am like a doctor and I'm this and I'm that, and the scene I had was just everyone was talking, but the scene that turned out was it was like a, I don't know what you call it, like a roundabout. Everybody's talking about how wonderful they are, and it lands on Leah. She's like, yeah, I can't relate. So it helped with comedic effect, and it definitely played off better than what was on paper.
Fantastic. Who has a question? All right, well, how about a big round of applause? Next up, just looking around, see where they are. The Realty. All right, so the Realty needs a moment, so we are going to move on to Steep Town. And Steep Town is not here yet, so we're going to move on to Or So the Story Goes. So, tell us your name and the name of your project.
I'm Melissa Malone. I'm the creator of Or So the Story Goes.
And what is Or So the Story Goes?
It's a young adult horror anthology. We take a different story each season from classic children's literature and give it a modern, scary twist for young adults. And the season that's here is Knock Knock, which is a home invasion Jack and the Beanstalk.
All right. What inspired this?
Teenagers that I worked with. We used to teach, my wife and I used to do, we created the series together, an after-school program to teach teen filmmaking. And they were little then, they were 12, and they always wanted to do scary things. So our first summer project turned into actually its own little web series, which we weren't expecting. And then we decided to actually hire a crew and make it happen, and we have 3 fully produced seasons now, I think. And then we're still using a lot of those kids. We have 2 teenagers in our crew, and our assistant director's been with us since she was 12, and she's now 20. Wow. She's also an actor in our series, but she's decided she doesn't want to act anymore. She wants to direct.
And someone in here has a question, I'm sure. Here you go. Like Night at the Roxbury?
So I just want to know, what was your creative process?
Once we came up with the idea, I think that the anthology idea, we sort of now a lot of shows are doing it. At the time, I think American Horror Story was the big one that started sort of rotating their cast each season in new roles. So that was fun inspiration for how we formatted it. And then we just sort of sat around the fire pit and drank and decided what fairy tales would work really well for the next season. Not with the teenagers. Our adults only, I should clarify. And it started out because we wanted to do Peter Pan. And we did a very low budget Peter Pan. And then our next season, when we hired our crew, was a teen slasher Rumpelstiltskin. So it's sort of inspired loosely on the fairy tales themselves. We take characters and elements from it and make it its own modern thing.
Awesome. We have one more question.
Are your seasons all the same length, or are the stories getting told in different episode lengths?
It's relatively the same length. I think we run from 6 to 9 episodes each season. Every season is between an hour and a half total runtime.
Beautiful. All right. Huge round of applause.
Thank you.
We're going to go back for a second, and next up is Boomers. All right, Nancy, we'll give you a second to check your mic. Hey. All right, so Nancy, you are on. We're rolling, so I'm gonna jump in, and I'm going to ask you to tell me your name and the name of your series.
My name is Nancy Hendrickson, and my series is Boomers.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about the plot. What is Boomers about?
Boomers is, if you watch it, you'll see that the format is roughly based on The Honeymooners or I Love Lucy. It's a main couple, a neighbor couple. They get into all kinds of escapades together, and obviously hilarity ensues. But the greater message of it is that the boomers are still here. We're still alive, we're still active, we're still engaged, we're still creative, and we don't want to be marginalized. So I personally think that senior citizens are the last protected class that it's okay to ignore. You know, we're finally paying attention to women, we're finally paying attention to LGBTQ community, to black people, to Latino people, and senior citizens, it's somehow okay to marginalize them and not talk to them. So a couple of things happened when I was that started the inception of Boomers. One was I was watching the news and I started to feel like nobody's talking to me anymore. They're talking to my children. They're saying, if this was your 65-year-old mother, what would you do? And I'm thinking, well, I don't have a 65-year-old mother because I'm 65. And at the same time, I had started as an actress. I had a lot of friends that were still in that end of the business, and they were not getting parts anymore. One told me, the one who plays Dennis in the series, and he's hilarious, he said his agent dropped him. He could no longer get him parts. The woman who plays Ruth in the series, she said there are only 2 parts left for our age group. If you're a woman, it's the grandmother. If you're a male, it's the judge. And that's it. So they were bemoaning their fate, and I had a different film at a festival, and some of my friends came to watch it, and we were talking about this, and I said, what if we did a series about boomers, and it was all boomers in the cast, and I'm telling our story, and there are main parts for people in our age group, and they love the idea, so that's how it started.
Awesome. Well, that was a fantastic answer. So we're going to give you a huge round of applause. Last question, I guess, Nancy, is where can people find you to watch?
You can find the original web series, 14 episodes, 2 seasons on YouTube. We got distribution on Amazon. It's on Amazon Europe. It's translated into German and Spanish, as well as closed captioned in English. And on Amazon, they require 20-minute minimum episodes. So the original web series has been recut into 3 half-hour episodes for a pilot series, like a sitcom pilot series. And we're hoping it gets picked up because I know my budget doesn't allow any more seasons to go, and my friends and family are tapped out too. So that's what we're hoping for. So you can find us on Amazon or on YouTube. If you have Prime, it's free.
Fantastic. Give a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up we have I tell you, I've had a couple of falls recently. So I'm walking funny now. I get it. All right, so next up, let me see. Do we have Black Girls Guide to Fertility? Okay, how about... So, Steve Town. Oh, Steve Town. All right. Awkwardly.
She's coming.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's on her way. That's right, she mentioned. Okay, so Liz's class act. All right, come on. Come on, man.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Catherine Connor-Duff, and I am the executive producer and writer, and I star in it, so not egomaniac at all. And this is Matthew.
Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Domenico. I am an executive producer, creator, and one of the actors in Liz's class act.
Yeah, do your Russian voice.
I play Valery.
Yes, he plays a Russian bouncer who's on the run from the Russian mafia. So in 2018, we figured the Russian jokes were super on point. So our web series is about a bar, so this is fitting, and it's about a bar that is going way down, and a young millennial played by myself, who delusionally believes she is the daughter of John Belushi, for any old SNL fans out there. She comes into the bar to save it, and she has to deal with a older 60s manager. So we have the millennial versus boomer conflict, which is also pretty relevant, I find. And yeah, we decided to go in a comedic route because 2018 was sort of a heavy year for many people. And Matthew and I usually do military dramas. And we have a theater company, which is a nonprofit. And we also do short films. We have a podcast, which is in the top 3% of podcasts in the world, which is exciting. And we interview veterans. Yay, woo, thank you. And we do a lot of military dramas about PTSD and stuff like that. Matthew is a Marine veteran who served in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I just told Catherine, like, I had this crazy idea about, like, a bar and a comedy club, and I was like, Catherine, we've been doing, like, a lot of heavy, like, drama. Like, even I'm starting to get a little crazy about this. So, like, we need to break it up with some comedy. So I told her about this idea that I had, and it sucked. And Catherine is a brilliant writer. She just got into like a really big. No, she just got into like a really big writing festival, like script.
Promote ourselves heavily.
Yeah. Well, so I went to her about it, and I was like, hey, like, can we do something with this? And then she just did everything she did with it, and I'm really proud of it.
I think it's in screening block 1, so everyone come check it out. It's 30 minutes, so it's a little bit long, but
we originally kind of wrote it as a TV pilot, and then we also submitted it to web festival stuff, because what the hell, let's bang on as many doors as possible. And that is how you can see it, because we have not made it public, so that we can still look for a distribution. And we made it 2 years ago, so this is kind of our last festival round for this project for now. Yeah. So I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
We're from Los Angeles, by the way. That is where we hail from. We came from California, and we both lived in New York and went to school in New York, and then we both moved to Hollywood. So, any questions? All right.
Definitely answered all my questions, but somebody's got a question.
Don't be shy. Come on, guys.
Here we go.
Yay!
So, who wins in the millennial?
That is a good question. Because it is the first episode, we kind of wanted to keep it spicy, but they actually end up sort of seeing eye to eye. I know that it's a very big thing, the millennial versus the boomer, and both judge one another, I think, and there's a lot of comedy there, but I think ultimately, I look up to my parents a lot who were 60s hippies, so there are other kinds of boomers than just the super, conservative, oh, the stereotypical, I hate music and all fun things. So I look up to my father, who was a boomer himself, so I think that there can be some sort of reconciliation between generations.
Yeah, and the way that I saw it with the episode is, Chris's character, the boomer, he has all this experience, he talks about how, the feds aren't going to get Jimi Hendrix's plant that he's had for forever growing weed. And so he has all this experience with all these famous celebrities, and he knows how to run a club, whereas Catherine's character, the millennial, all this ambition, all this drive, doesn't really know what they're doing, but if you add the ambition, the drive with the experience, you could actually get something similar. So it was kind of definitely satiring the differences between the two generations, but also at the same time, what if we helped each other out? Maybe we could get somewhere.
It's also a very interesting thing with sexual roles, because my character's a female and then he is an older male, and it's interesting how the way people talk to the different sexes has changed. We have him tell very dirty jokes that are misogynist by today's standards, and back then, in the 60s, it was kind of hey man, what's the problem? Let's tell a joke about this about your breasts, and now it's that's really offensive. So that was an interesting dynamic to go into as well.
Yeah, showing how comedy has aged over the years, what was acceptable back then and what's happening today, and not exactly that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, huge round of applause. And next up, we have the Realty.
So much for having us. I'm Alex Pete, showrunner and co-creator of the show, and with me is Raul Arteaga, one of the stars of the show and also executive producer.
How you guys doing? Good.
So the story for us is that we met 2016-ish? As filmmakers.
Right. Well, that was about 5 years ago that we met.
Yeah, 2016. A friend of ours, Vicente, who is Hernan in the series, introduced us for a project, and Raul here wanted to make a HGTV style show about real estate.
Yeah, one of my mentors basically one of the guys that really inspires me, and the coach is Frederick Eklund. We did at least to New York. So I'm a real estate broker for what I do for a living. So anyway, we wanted to do reality TV like him, but he came out with the idea that Dallas already done, and we wanted to do something else different, So being a Latino from Dallas, real estate broker, we decided to do the reality TV. And aspect of it. So we decided to do that.
Yeah, we decided like, why not make people laugh? That's way better way to make people, number one, like you, and number two, remember you. And just, Raul had all these crazy stories of what his normal clients in the real estate world, and got inspiration from that to do all these series of episodes. The original idea was to do a big pilot, which we wrote and worked on, and then realized that with the support, financial, and the team that we had, we could shoot a web series, and that would be something that would help all of us. You know, we just want to do something together. The actors, the cast, the crew, and the web series format was right for that. We could do something that was really funny, really well made, shoot it in a total of 3 weekends, do it in dual language. We shot each episode completely in English and completely in Spanish, translating all of the jokes, sometimes having to adapt them a little bit more, because, you know, wordplay doesn't translate all the time. But everybody was great, everybody had fun, which is important when you're doing a big production, especially when you're doing 16-hour days. It's better for everybody to just be having fun instead of feeling like it's a chore. And we did it. Everybody was really excited. And a little bit of the, oh my god, we actually finished this thing. With each episode that we released week by week, it was just, oh great, we did it, right? Being Raul's first experience being in the production side.
Yeah, this is my first gig. So for me it's just an experience, you know, that we did this together because we are best friends. So we're looking forward to do a lot more, and hopefully open new doors for us to create more content in Spanish and English as well. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, representation matters. Now that with the hype of the heights and everything, I'm fully supportive. Part of the reason that we met was part of first years ago in a roundtable for the Latino Leaders magazine. We were in a 35 under 35 list 10 years ago, so it was 5 years ago. Please don't do the math. And when we met for this project, talking about this project, Vince and I were in the works of reinstituting a Latino film festival in Dallas. Because for years there was one until 2011, when the existing one went away, we brought it back with a group of filmmakers back in 2016, and we've been running it since then. Founder Brian actually was one of our first features and submissions back in the first edition with a great film.
El Sueño, yep, it's right there, and the star is right there. Yajesma Orozco.
And thank you for trusting us with your movie back then, and thank you for trusting your festival now with our web series. And I think we can open it to questions now. Come on, you all look like curious people.
All right, well, that was an enormously good answer to the first question, so we probably have time for just one question, and I guess, Bob, you have the question.
Well, as a real estate agent, I'm just glad that you guys kind of changed it up a little bit. Instead of the usual, I'm going to show you 3 crappy houses, you're going to pick one. I know there are a lot of stories that it's hard to tell, you know, like your significant other and your friends, some of the craziness that we deal with and do it well, because otherwise they're just like, whatever, dude. You know, have another drink and we'll talk about it later. So I just thought it was really cool, so I'm glad you guys put it out there.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, being a real estate agent is just crazy, especially in this crazy market. Like, everybody's over bidding 30, 40, 50, 100 grand on the house. It's not worth that much, but that is the market that we're living right now, right? So, so I've been doing this deal for the last 60 years. I've seen it all, done it all. Crazy clients, cool clients, and just about everything.
Yeah, well, I know some crazy clients because Brian used to be one of my crazy clients.
Oh my God!
Right. And there were a couple of like blackout nights, right? Like with some of the clients.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Just
It's so true.
All
right.
So much for being here.
Thank you. No, huge applause. All right, next up we have, drum roll please, ethnically ambiguous.
Boy, I got here just in time. Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany Phillips. I am the writer, creator, and star of Ethnically Ambiguous. And my crew and co-director is Rosa Costanza. It was like all women behind the camera, which I loved. Yeah, so I'm in Los Angeles, and I've been an actress for a long time. And I'm African American. Both of my parents are black, believe it or not. And I have played, in my time as an actress, literally every ethnicity under the sun. I have played Asian. My name was Mei Lin in Mortal Kombat. Native American, Latino, Puerto Rican especially. I played just about every ethnicity, and these experiences are funny that I've had. So I've kind of mined all of my life experiences being in this ethnically ambiguous category when before they didn't really know what to do with me. And so now they say, okay, because we live in, it's a label-driven industry. We all know that. They just want to put you in a box. And so this series is all about poking fun and laughing at the stereotypes, the ethnic tropes, all of these things that Hollywood says, you know, if you're Latino, you need to look like Sofia Vergara. If you're black, you need to look like Wesley Snipes. And you need to, no. I want to break all of those stereotypes, but do it in a way that's funny and entertaining. Thank you. And it was a labor of love. And also, I believe you got to create your own. Like Issa Rae, there was something about Issa Rae earlier, and she's a big inspiration of mine, and she was the reason why I even wanted to write a web series. I thought, wow, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. And I was waiting for the right role to come for me, and it just wasn't coming, so I created my own. That's what we got to do. We got to create our own role. I'm so excited to be here. Brian, thank you for having me. Thank you for creating this space for us filmmakers. And I want to shout out everybody out there, you guys, all of your films. Congratulations. We're here. We did it. We're in Miami, honey. So happy to be here. Do you guys have any questions?
Awesome. Yeah, let's go with the questions. Okay, I have a question.
Thank you.
So what, you reference a lot of things in your series that are from real life. Can you tell us one